Today we are diving into Cat Quest, a game that looks cute and relaxing on the surface, but hiding underneath is an adventure packed with dangerous dragons, challenging dungeons, powerful loot, and a surprisingly huge open world. My goal to earn every single achievement and fully complete the game. So let's begin. As soon as the game begins, we are thrown straight into a dramatic cutscene where our sister gets kidnapped by a mysterious flying monster. Moments later, we wake up alone on the shores of an island known as Felingard. Here we are introduced to Spyri, a mysterious spirit who becomes our guide throughout the adventure. As we make our way toward the nearest town, the game wastes no time introducing us to a combat. And honestly, combat is simple. You attack, you dodge, you defeat enemies, that's it. Every enemy we defeat rewards us with gold and experience points. Gold can be used to buy new equipment and upgrade our spells, while experience helps us level up and become stronger. And if our health gets low, we can simply take a nap. Sleeping restores our health and also saves the game. After settling into town, we meet a powerful mage who reveals something interesting about our character. Apparently, we are Dragonblood, a legendary group of warriors who once defeated evil dragons before mysteriously disappearing from history. Because of this special lineage, we are capable of wielding magic, and right here we unlock our very first spell. But before we can celebrate, the game immediately throws us into our first boss fight against a dragon. Thankfully, this battle is pretty straightforward. Dodge the attacks, roll out of danger, land a few hits, and before long the dragon goes down. With our first dragon defeated, the entire map of Felingard finally opens up. And this is where the real grind toward 100% completion begins. The world is divided into multiple towns and many of them contain bulletin boards filled with side quests. For the achievement, we will need to complete all 62 side quests in the game. But that's not all. Scattered across the map are dungeons, a total of 52. And for another achievement, we will need to clear every single dungeon one by one, defeating every enemy and opening every chest inside. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I started grinding side quests to level up. After clearing another dungeon, making some progress, we finally come face to face with a mysterious figure responsible for our sister's kidnapping. Meet Dragonblood. He introduces himself and reveals something even stranger. Apparently nobody else on the island can see him. Dragonblood then casually explains that he is the reason nobody in Felingard is truly happy. But after all that villain monologuing, he finally gets to the point. If we want to save our sister, we need to defeat 3 powerful dragons that he has summoned across the island. So our objective is officially set. 3 dragons, 1 kidnapped sister. Before heading out, we are introduced to the blacksmith. Unlike most RPGs where you upgrade gear using crafting materials, Cat Quest does things a little differently. Equipment levels increase by opening chests. These chests can either be found hidden inside dungeons or purchased directly from the blacksmith. Naturally, I immediately spent my hard-earned gold and brought a 50 gold chest hoping for some better gear. With some improved equipment in hand, I headed to another mage tower and unlocked my next spell, lightning. Now things were starting to get interesting. I decided it was time to challenge the first dragon. Well, almost. First I spent some time farming experience points and collecting better equipment. Once I reached level 7, I felt ready. I was not ready. The dragon absolutely destroyed me, so it was back to the quest board. I completed several more side quests, gained some extra levels, and most importantly unlocked the healing spell, which would prove to be massive upgrade for future battles. After a lot more grinding, better gear and reaching level 13, I finally felt prepared for the rematch. This time things went very differently. I could survive longer, deal more damage, and heal whenever things got dangerous. The dragon that had completely crushed me before suddenly looked a lot less intimidating. And after an intense battle, the first dragon finally fell. 1 dragon down, 2 more to go. Of course, defeating a dragon immediately catches Dragon's attention. He appears once again and informs us that the next dragon is located far out on the water. There's just one small problem. We can't walk on water. Yet, before we can continue our hunt, we will need to learn the legendary water walking skill. Our next stop was the Old Master's Rune. Now the Old Masters are not just some random ancient civilization. According to the lore, they are the legendary beings who actually created the world of Felingard. After fighting through the dungeon and clearing out every enemy in sight, we were rewarded with a cutscene that introduced us to Alias. And this reveal was huge. Alias is revealed to be creator of the Dragonbloods, which means he is basically responsible for creating us and the ancient warriors who once fought the dragons. With more questions than answers, we continued our journey. Soon after, a watchtower pointed us towards the next major objective, learning how to walk on water. To unlock this ability, we needed to travel all the way to Port City and complete an entire chain of side quests. The first quest was a path to water walking. Then came the fusion, and during this quest I also unlocked another powerful skill, freeze. Next up was the rogue mages, where things started getting a little more challenging, and finally after completing the miracle, we were granting the legendary water walking ability, which is exactly what it sounds like. We could now casually stroll across oceans like it was perfectly normal. With our new powers, I started exploring areas that had previously been inaccessible. During these adventures, I also unlocked another useful spell called Berserk. But before hunting down the second dragon, there was another important task to complete, the Golden Key quest. I traveled to Gentle Town to begin one of the most valuable side quests in the entire game. You see, the dungeons contain two types of chests. Small chests that can be opened immediately. Big chest, however, requires a special key, and without that key, some of the best equipment in the game remains unlocked. Fortunately, Felingard contains a quest line that rewards the legendary golden key, allowing us to open every chest in the game. So as any completely reasonable and mentally stable achievement hunter would do, I dropped everything and completed the quest immediately. Now armed with the golden key, every treasure chest on the island was a fair game, which meant significantly better armor, stronger weapons and a much more easier path toward 100% completion. Feeling stronger than ever and now sitting comfortably at level 27, I decided it was finally time to challenge the second dragon. Unfortunately, the dragon had other plans. I got absolutely destroyed again. So I returned to what had become my favorite activity in Cat Quest. Grinding side quest, more quests meant more experience and more experience meant better levels. And better levels meant access to stronger gear. After a while I climbed to level 29, upgraded my equipment and returned for a rematch, and this time things were very different. The extra levels and improved armor made a massive difference and the battle felt far more manageable. After a tough fight, the second dragon finally went down. Two dragons defeated, one dragon remaining. The final dragon was not hiding on land and it was not hiding on water either, it was flying, which meant if we wanted to reach it we will have to learn how to fly ourselves. To unlock this ability we had to travel all the way to the northeast corner of Felingard to a place called Mew City. And just like the water walking skill before it, flight was locked behind an entire chain of side quests. The first quest was the flying bush, then came the magic tree, after that the cult, and during this quest line I also unlocked another spell called the cat trap. Finally, after completing the quest dragon flight, we reached the final challenge, a dragon boss fight. Now normally this would be terrifying, but by this point I was level 36, loaded with powerful gear and honestly feeling pretty unstoppable. The dragon barely stood a chance. With the boss defeated, the legendary flying ability was finally ours. Naturally, the first thing I did was rush straight toward the third dragon, and naturally I got destroyed. At this point, losing to dragons had become a part of my gameplay loop. Fight dragon, lose, grind levels, come back stronger, repeat. So that's exactly what I did. I completed more side quests, grind more experience and along the way unlocked the final spell in the game, Astropaw. This also earned us our very first achievement of the run, Power of the Arcane. After even more grinding, better equipment and reaching level 44, I returned to challenge the final dragon once again. This time there was no struggle, just pure revenge. The dragon went down and with all three dragons summoned by Dracot had finally been defeated. Immediately afterward, Dracot appeared and summoned visions of our sister before attacking us. At least that's what it looked like. It turns out these were not real attacks at all. These were merely illusions created by Dracot, a distraction. Before we could pursue him further, Spiri suggested that we clear another dungeon. And after completing it, something unexpected happened. Spiri's grandfather appeared. And that's when the game dropped one of the biggest lore revelation so far. He explained that if we truly wanted the power to defeat Dracot, we first needed to understand the history of the Old Masters. Long ago, the Dragonblood were created by an ancient race known as the Old Masters. The most important of these beings were Alias, the very creator of the Dragonblood. But eventually, the Old Masters turned against him and imprisoned him within a realm known as the Zero Dimension. In response, Dracot led the Dragonblood into rebellion. The war that followed was so devastating that it wiped out both the Old Masters and the Dragonblood alike. Armed with this knowledge, Spyri's father granted us several mysterious shards. These shards could be forged into a legendary sword. At first, the weapon seemed disappointing. It started at only level 1. By completing a side quest called Ultimate Dragon's Bane, the sword instantly upgraded all the way to level 99, making it the strongest weapon in the entire game. And with the most powerful sword in Felingard finally within our reach, we were one step closer to the final confrontation with Dracot. Our destination, Frozen Paw, the place where Dracot had been waiting for us all along. As soon as we arrived, Dracot wasted no time. Instead of fighting us directly, he decided to summon all three dragons at once. Now earlier in the game, a single dragon was enough to completely destroy me, but things had changed a lot. I was massively overleveled, equipped with some of the best gear in the game and wielding the strongest sword available. So what should have been an epic battle quickly turned into a dragon extermination program. One by one the dragons fell, and with their defeat the path to the final battle finally opened. We entered the mysterious Zero Dimension, the prison of Alias. Inside the Zero Dimension, Dracot reveals that the hero never had a sister. The entire opening cutscene, all of it was a false memory. A carefully crafted illusion designed to manipulate us into following Dracot's plan. Spiri admitted admits that Dracot is actually his master. Dracot and Spiri has been making us stronger from the start for one specific reason. The death of a powerful Dragonblood was required to free Alias from the zero dimension, and we were the sacrifice. With the truth finally exposed, there was only one thing left to do. Fight. The final boss battle against Dracot began, and surprisingly it was probably the easiest boss fight in the entire game. After everything we have done to prepare, Dracot simply could not keep up. The battle ended quickly, and with his defeat the zero dimension began collapsing around us. As reality itself started to crumble, the hero and the Spiri finally put their differences aside. As they reached the exit, they witnessed Alias finally leaving the zero dimension, free after centuries of imprisonment, and just like that the main story was complete. Dracot has been defeated and we unlocked another achievement, Felingard Lore Master. But if you thought that meant our journey to 100% completion was over, you would be very wrong. There were still 4 achievements left which I can get on this run, and that's where the real cleanup grind began. First up was Dungeon Master. Throughout the adventure I had cleared plenty of dungeons but not all of them. To earn this achievement I needed to complete every single dungeon in Felingard, defeating every enemy and opening every chest along the way. So I travelled across the entire map, revisiting every corner of the kingdom until all 52 dungeons were finally conquered. With the last dungeon cleared, Dungeon Master was mine. Next came Savior of the Cats. This achievement required completing every side quest in the game, and considering there were 62 quests spread throughout Felingard, there was no small task. Fortunately, I had completed most of them while leaving up for the dragon fight, so it was mostly a matter of cleaning up the remaining quest. After helping every cat that needed saving, solving every problem and finishing the final quest line, another achievement pod, Savior of the Cats, unlocked. Now something interesting happened. Because I had completed every dungeon, every side quest and opened every chest I could find, I had naturally collected every piece of equipment in the game, all 66 weapons and armor chest pieces, which meant another achievement unlocked automatically, Fashionista Lion. At this point I had completed virtually everything Cat Quest had to offer. There was only one achievement left, and it was arguably the grandiest one of them, Super Cat Venturer. To unlock it, I needed to reach level 99. There was just one problem. After completing almost everything in the game, I was only level 83. That meant I still needed 16 more levels, and leveling at this stage was painfully slow. There are several farming methods you can use, but I decided to go with one of the fastest options available, the Icy Glaive Dungeon. Inside the dungeon lives an ice dragon that rewards a huge amount of experience when defeated. The strategy was simple: enter the dungeon, destroy the dragon, leave the dungeon, reset the dungeon, repeat over and over and over again. After roughly 30 to 40 minutes of repeatedly sending the same ice dragon into retirement, the experience bar finally reached its limit, level 99. And with that final level came the final achievement, Super Cat Venturer. The achievement popped. Now at this point you might be thinking, wait, you have completed every side quest, every dungeon, collected every piece of gear, reached level 99 and beaten the final boss. So that's the platinum, right? Unfortunately no. I still had 7 achievements left, and getting them meant replaying the entire game multiple times. Welcome to Mew Game. After completing Cat Quest, a special mode called Mew Game unlocks. This mode allows you to start a new playthrough with unique gameplay modifiers that completely change how the game is played. And since several achievements are tied to these modifiers, there was no escaping them. Now don't worry, I'm not going to show every second of every run, or this video would somehow end up longer than the actual game. So here's how the remaining achievement hunt went. For my first Mew Game run, I selected the Furry Armored modifier. This modifier is basically a victory lap. We keep everything from our previous playthrough, our levels, our armor, our weapon, our spells, everything. Which means we are hilariously overpowered from the moment the game starts. The dragon that once destroyed me were now getting deleted in seconds. So I rushed through the main story as fast as possible and completed the entire game in roughly 30 minutes. Achievement unlocked, Furry Armored. For the next run, I selected the Naked Cat modifier, and yes, is exactly what it sounds like. This time I started from scratch, but there was one major restriction. I could not equip any armor. At first this sounds terrifying. No armor means less defense. Less defense means getting hit hurts a lot. But surprisingly, this challenge was not nearly as difficult as I expected. The trick was simply leveling up a bit more than usual and focusing heavily on dodging attacks. Combat took longer since I could not rely on powerful gear, but it was completely manageable. More importantly, completing the game with this modifier rewarded me with the first piece of the legendary Old Master set. This armor set is earned by completing the Mew Game run with multiple modifiers enabled. One modifier grants the first piece, 2 modifiers grant the second, and 3 modifiers grant the final piece, which means that the next run was about to get a little more challenging. For my third playthrough, I selected stronger enemies and 9 lives together. With these modifiers active, enemies deal more damage, have more health, and I can only die 9 times before the run fails. Sounds scary, scary, but honestly, once again, proper preparation solved most of the problems. I spent some time farming levels, picked up decent gear, and before long, the challenge became pretty manageable. By the end of the run, I had unlocked the second piece of the old master set. Only one piece remained. For the final challenge, I decided to go big. I selected 3 modifiers at once: stronger enemies, 9 lives, and the infamous level 1 modifier. This run was special because I was aiming for 2 achievements at the same time: the final piece of the old master's armor set and the level 1 achievement. Now, if you have never seen this challenge before, it sounds impossible. Beat the game while staying at level 1 against stronger enemies with only 9 lives. Surely, this had to be the hardest run in the entire platinum journey, but surprisingly, it was not. The secret is knowing exactly where to go early. Some of the strongest weapons and armor in the game can be acquired much earlier than you would expect. So instead of fighting fair, I immediately rushed to grab powerful equipment. I also picked up faith and courage as early as possible to massively increase my damage output. And once I had those upgrades, the challenge became far easier than it looked on paper. Before long, the final boss fell once again. The last piece of the old master set was mine. The level 1 achievement unlocked, and with that, every achievement in Cat Quest has finally been completed. Honestly, I had an absolute blast with this game. The combat is simple, the exploration is fun, the progression feels rewarding. And despite having to replay the game multiple times, I never really got bored. I can definitely see the replayability requirements being a deal breaker for some players, but personally, I enjoyed every minute of it. And with that, the platinum journey comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next achievement hunt.